really in the thick of it, in the sense that you know all about those issues going back to when you were in government. Now, give me your thoughts on the whole notion of bandits, you know, quite frankly, criminals that have been causing woe to our people. A former governor, now a senator, actually was proposing that, you know, it might be a good idea to engage with them, talk with them, with a view to reaching some sort of amnesty. Your thoughts on that whole notion, sir?
Okay, thank you very much for having me on this very important program. You see, I saw the comments by the former governor and a few others, like Sheikh Gobi, all occurring the same all the bandits should be engaged and amnesty should be given. I think we have to be extremely careful in this, because here in Katsina we had experience of attempting that from 2017 to 2019, but it didn't work because of so many factors. First of all, let us understand this is banditry, this is criminality. This group of people are thieves. You understand? You cannot think of using the same issue in the Niger Delta.
Okay, as soon as we get Dr.
And even Boko Haram with this resource control, talking about their environment, talking about marginalization and so on. And they have leaders that you can sit and talk with it. And if you are able to come to agreement with them, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve, as started by late President Eradua. The sense of Boko Haram, they are talking on ideology, talking about religion, talking about things that they believe is not done the way they are supposed to be done. And they have leaders that you can sit with them, they can understand. If you are able to convince them, you have stronger points on the issues they are contesting, then you can have some reasonable understanding with them. But while you are dealing with criminals who are thieves, who are only interested in accumulating, taking about things from people, and they don't have common leaders, they are scattered. You see, I think it is important we understand the history and also the operations, the structure of these people before you can start talking about whether granting them amnesty or even talking to them, dialogue with them, and so on, even if it works. You understand? Mm-hmm. And this you can do from the point of strength, not from the point of weakness. Because if the bandits are seeking for government to come and negotiate with them, it's a difference. But while the government is asking the bandit, let us negotiate, I think it's wrong. One, they are thieves. Okay, if you ask them to leave what they are doing based on certain conditions, what condition do you give them? Do you continue to give them what they are getting from the communities, from the societies? The leaders have a lot of youth under them. So if they willingly accept to leave what they are doing, how do they continue to maintain such battalion of youth who have nothing doing? Apart, you see, this boundary is becoming culture now among these people. Like I said, it is important we understand the history. This is not something that started this year, 2 years ago, or even during this administration. As far back as 1891, boundary was in existence in this area. And it continued even during the colonial period. If you go to history, you go to archive, you see all this. So it is not something that is new. But the problem is, like we said, they are interested in taking property from people. Initially, it was wrestling, cattle wrestling, and abusing. But now it's become a full-blown kidnapping issue and so on, where they kidnap people, they take ransom and huge sum of money, which they cannot get from any legitimate business or any legitimate thing they used to do. So the point is, let us not rush into taking decisions that will not be any meaningful. And if this issue has to be done, it has to be done holistically. Like I said, 2017, in Katsina here, we attempted doing that. We are able to succeed to some extent, but the problem is, it was only Katsina that engaged these people, and most of them, to be candid, they are not sincere. What they tell you is different from what they do. And once they accept, all those who accepted Amnesty initially went back into the policy and continued their businesses. And the few ones who were sincere were killed by those who did not accept the arrangement because they did not trust them, they saw them as enemies, and they killed all of them. You understand? So it is not even possible for us to succeed because other states around, like Zamfara, Kaduna, Kebbi, and those affected states were not in support of what they were doing. So you find that those who did not accept the amnesty were majority, and therefore they not only killed those who accepted amnesty, but they also took away their livestock, including their wives. You understand?
Yeah.
So it is not easy. It is not something that we can say, yes, you go and negotiate. Moreover, there are moral questions. Look at what happened over the years. A lot of people were killed. A lot of people were abused, especially women. A lot of them have even children from those bandits. A lot of properties were lost. Many people have to sell their farms, their houses, and all what belonged to them to pay for ransom.
Okay.
And now you say, okay, let us
I beg your pardon.
give it. I said many of them to pay for ransom.
Okay, one moment, Dr. Inua. One moment, Dr. Inua. I got to take a short break. I'll be right back. Please stay with us.
Planet, our home, threatened by man's activities with fears of mass extinction on the rise. On Green Angle, we examine the issues that affect our environment, seek solutions to put us on track to secure and restore a cleaner and greener world for generations to come.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and governments to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
Okay, welcome back, and our guest is Dr. Mustapha Inua. He's a former secretary to the government of Katsina State, and we're talking about the whole idea of possibly granting amnesty to bandits plaguing them in the northwest and surrounding regions. He's, generally speaking, he has said that he is not really for it for a number of reasons, and he had just touched on there is a moral aspect to this whole thing. That's where we got to before we had to go on a break. And Dr. Inua, thank you for staying with us. Just as I was going to get there is when you mentioned this question of the moral issue. I guess that's the most worrying to people. how can people take on a whole country, its laws, and those that are in charge, you know, those that are in charge seem not to be able to do the right thing. I say this in relation to all the some other troubles that we've had. We've had troubles with Boko Haram. You've explained that, yes, those ones might say that they actually have philosophical points. The Niger Delta, you've explained how you can't compare Niger Delta with bandits and that kind of a thing. But that a person, you know, such an eminent person as a former governor, and a senator, is actually making these proposals. And I think among the things that were said were that, yeah, if the army were to go after them, for instance, in a once and for all kind of a manner, there will be collateral damage. We've heard that in relation to Boko Haram as well. I don't know what you make of such arguments. Because these are...
Collateral damage.
Yes, please continue, sir.
You see, what collateral damage people are talking about? You see, these people have waged war against the entire community. People are being killed on a daily basis. As I'm talking to you now, people are being killed in different parts of my state, at least in Zamfara and a few states around. You understand? Like I said, they kill so many people. They destroy so many things. They abuse so many women. And many people lost their properties to pay ransom for their loved ones, and some that are now rendered poor and without anything. So you see, if the government, like I said this several times when I was in government, I said it in writing, I said it at various fora with the security agencies, believe you me, if the government is to do what it's supposed to do, this will not take us more than 3 months to get clear. Because when you go around, I have opportunity to fly over the border with the airport. It's something that you can easily see. You can see people moving. You can see animals moving. It's not something that is very difficult to penetrate. But the security agencies are not doing what they're supposed to do. This is the truth of the matter. You understand? And I said it several times, if they are to do anything, it should be done together by all the states. It should be done simultaneously. The ground troop and the air troop must work together to bring this city and because, like I said, everybody in the forest now, believe me, is criminal. Now, even if he's a child, he will grow up to become criminal. Because there is no way somebody who is not either a criminal, who is not an accomplice, can stay there alive, can live there peacefully. It's not possible. So it's a matter of fighting to save the lives of people that are being terrorized every day. People now don't go to farm. They don't go to market. They don't do what they are ordinarily they do. So why are you looking at only one side of the people, the criminals? These are criminals.
Dr. Inua, what's your idea? Because people that are far away from the centers of the real violence, they might not understand the agony of the people there, although I would imagine that most people can sort of identify, but it's not quite like being in the middle of it. Now, you've just said something that the military authorities, the military is not, apparently is not doing what it is supposed to do. Now, we know that what the military people do is they await orders and they will execute orders. And I don't think anybody is able to say that Nigerian soldiers are not capable. So it will come back to this whole question of political will, the will to do the right thing. It has been said that if the army were given marching orders, they know what to do. What is your thought about that notion?
You see, I said it myself, because if the Nigerian army could fight the civil war at the time in the late 60s, and in an area, in a terrain that is very difficult, you understand, to penetrate, and with very low modern weapons at that time, I believe the Nigerian army is equally capable of fighting this within a short period of time. What you like you rightly said, one, it is the political will. I believe what people are being told publicly by the political leaders is, I believe, different from what they are telling the security agencies to do. Otherwise, I cannot understand. Earlier, we are told that there were no aircraft with night capability. Later, we are told these things were purchased. We are told that these people are not terrorists, so they should not be treated like they treating Boko Haram and other people. Later, they were declared terrorists. So what is the problem again? Like we said, that I understand it from two angles. One, the political leaders here, the governors, who generally should assist in providing logistics to the security agencies, and also taking some political decisions together, like if they decide to ban the use of motorcycle, sales of petrol, closure of market, and so on, this is where the governors come. But the real action, the real war, the real military or whatever security council is done, it's supposed to be done by the military. But it's like I said several times, this must be done simultaneously and should be done by all the state concerned and should be well coordinated, both ground and air. Otherwise, the way we are doing it now, Ghana is fighting on its side. Zamfara, when you push them from Ghana, they go to Zamfara. When you push them from Zamfara, they go to Kebbi, they go to Sokoto, they go to Kaduna. So this cannot work. And we have Niger Republic here. They are supportive. We had series of meetings with them. Our governor, then the former governor, had a reason to chair meeting with the Nigerian, especially Marathi governor and so on. They were willing to support the government. But like you said, I think the real marching order was never given to these people by the former leadership of the country. Indeed. So I think now, and moreover, one factor that we also noticed, there was serious misunderstanding then between the army and the air force. At several times here, I had to go in between them to settle certain squabbles because I understand they had political problem at the top, so it get down to sit.
Okay.
But now, I think the president, I understand he had talked to them, he will do them, will support them, he also enjoy them to work as one. So I think it is high time the present government give the marching order and provide them with the necessary things they require, with the support of the governors and the locals who are ready to provide the necessary intelligence, the necessary information. I believe this will not take us more than 3 months.
Okay. One second, please. Our first caller has come in. Good morning, Mr. George in Ikeja.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning.
And good morning to your guest.
Yes.
Uncle Yori, I completely disagree with the idea that collateral damage is the reason why terrorists cannot be tackled. But the terrorists themselves are causing collateral damage to the society. I think it is rather the absence of political will, not because of collateral damage. How do you allow bandits to get to the extent of acquiring drones, drones that they can even use to bomb people? And you say you are picking such people because of collateral damage? It's unthinkable. Katsina, the gentleman that you are talking to is well placed to tell us about the experience in Katsina. They tried to negotiate with them. We also that it didn't work. Zamfara called their leaders from the bush and gave them instancy titles. That did not stop anything in terms of the crimes they were committing. So how do you, as a government, call criminals that you should ordinarily crush and start negotiating with them? You are emboldening them like that. It is not the right thing to do to be negotiating with somebody who is just a criminal. They don't have principles. They are not fighting any cause. They are just there to kill people and make money out of it. So, for me, that, the Boko Haram issue is a different scenario.
It is.
I have personally observed that as soon as Boko Haram was degraded in the northeast, the government relaxed security control. That's why this banditry became the order of the day and it spread to other parts of the country. The president should not allow that to happen. For me, I think Nuhu Ribadu must make the difference. If a security chief is not performing well, he should not remain for the next day.
Indeed.
We need to be secure.
Well,
that's the reason why we have them. That's my view.
Thank you very much, Mr. George, for calling in and telling us about it. Just as our guest has said before, this has been tried before. It's not working. And quite frankly, most people cannot see the sense of it. I mean, as you have said, the Niger Delta militancy, totally different issue. Same thing with, the whole thing of Boko Haram. But these are just outright bandits. And for us to be hearing, well, we heard it inter alia, depending on which group you're talking about, that, they are Nigerians as well. And I just couldn't understand it. But perhaps the more frustrating thing is that a person that is knowledgeable about governance in our country, we're talking about Ahmad Yerima, actually going to the president and suggesting it, really, this is going to be confusing to the world at large, that this is a senator of the Federal Republic. And worse still, there are people who have come into the conversation, Dr. Inua, who have come into the conversation urging the president to, he's speaking well. We have to give this consideration. While there are also people who have said, don't even go there. Don't try it. What are you thinking? Well, the whole thing is that, in the light of what you said, and I, first of all, said that I have heard that the leadership has not given marching orders. The Nigerian army is able to perform, but for whatever the fear is, the commander-in-chief at the time was not able to give that order. Well, I don't know. We're just going to be hoping that something has changed now, Dr. Inua, hoping that with this new administration, maybe there'll be a rethink. Maybe consensus can be achieved, if that is the issue. Achieve the consensus. You've already explained, Dr. Inua, that not a unitary thing with people surrounding. So you can't run anywhere. You run here, those people are waiting for you. It looks like we don't want to tell ourselves the truth. Maybe that's the way the ordinary people will see it, that don't mind all those politicians. They are not sincere to us. That seems to be the conclusion of the ordinary man. And can you blame him for reaching such a conclusion?
See, the problem is we're being unnecessarily sentimental on certain issues. Issues that should not be allowed to, influence us through any kind of sentiment or of any thought. You see, people are suffering. Like you said, people are suffering by the day. People are rendered homeless, farmless, jobless. You understand? People are made without even a family. You understand? Killing the members of the family, the brothers, and so on. Business no go. Let me tell you, you see, in many of these villages and towns, these people are in control. They are in control. You understand? If there is any problem, even among the natives, they are the ones to be approached. The present governor of Kazan said, directed all chairmen to relocate to their local government and make sure they live in their various local government. They don't, because they cannot. You understand? Most of these are not being reported. People are really under siege.
Yes. Whether
I like it or not, this is the truth. This morning I have seen in Zamfara at the checkpoint about 4 policemen were killed. This is a daily occurrence. So how can you tell me with all this? And let me tell you, these people are not sincere. Whatever they tell you, the bandit, they don't mean it.
Indeed.
There was nothing we did not do here. You see, we discussed with them. Some of them even surrendered. And if they are to surrender their firearm, they surrender locally made or even the damaged ones. You understand? They are not sincere.
Indeed. And this is just what former Governor El Rufai found out until he swore that never again would he go into talks with them? In the meantime, let me bring in another caller, Mr. Ndukwe, calling in from Imo State. Good morning to you. Okay, we lost him. Just as you were saying, Doctor, former Governor, El Rufai of Kaduna, he went that way. And then he was betrayed, his trust or understanding was betrayed, and then the governor swore that never again would that kind of a thing happen. So really, the other caller who called in on the program, he had even brought the National Security Advisor into the matter, that this might well be one of the first tests for him in terms of putting our country back on the path of sanity, not one where hoodlums are operating above the Constitution. And I'm still I'm still nonplussed as to how a former governor and a senator could go to Aso Rock and actually speak for allowing bandits to be pardoned. I still don't understand that part of it. Oh, I understand that. Sorry, I understand I got that call back. Who is calling? Is it Kingsley in Imo now? Okay. Okay, Mr. Kingsley in Imo. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir, Mr. Yuri.
Okay, good morning. Please go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, the thought of granting amnesty to bandits is a misnomer to me, because I can't really make out any sense. These people that are killing people, even till tomorrow, like the news you people are dishing out to us, what they are doing in Jos, I can't really understand how the government will think of granting amnesty to this set of people that are lavishing lives and destroying properties, whereas people that are looking for a way to better their lives and organize their society, government has not granted them amnesty. Let alone bandits that are killing people. I don't really understand.
Yeah.
In this country, are we really serious to fight insecurity?
Okay.
Do we really mean to organize a civil society that will be better for all? Nigerians are suffering. People are so poor they cannot find something to eat. And government is contemplating.
No, government isn't contemplating. Sorry, sir. Government isn't contemplating, but we're having this conversation because people in governance, have actually gone to the government, gone to the president, and have made these suggestions. But thank you very much for your call. We'll continue with this conversation. Dr. Inua, I must take a break now. Please bear with us. We'll be right back.
Show is an online interactive session where we share my views on the everyday issues that cut across politics, security, health, current affairs, governance, and so much more. I am passionate about our country. I choose to support any conversation geared towards building a better Nigeria. I am Babajide Kolade Otitoju. Join me every Saturday on TVC News YouTube channel as I discuss Nigeria and the world at large on the show, Issues with Jide.
Okay, welcome back. And while we were away, Mr. Yusuf in Kaduna came on the line. Good morning to you, Mr. Yusuf.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for calling. Go ahead, please.
All right. I'm calling from Kaduna, but I've been based in Zamfara now for the past 4 years. This is really a worrisome situation. As a matter of fact, Zamfara State, as you know, has just 14 local governments. And I think I've toured over 10 of them are interlinked. The elder statesman now in the studio has said things that are true. But I want you to understand something. These key places are unique for these bandits. The mining going on in Zamfara State is overwhelming. And when I say overwhelming, it is so because the locations for the mining are in these locations where these people stay. I've stayed in Zamfara now. This is my 5th year. I am still there. I only come back to Kaduna on holiday basis. You will see people who say they have rest of mind only when they are in the bush, because these bandits are not going to harm them. It means they walk past these bandits to go and mine. It is political. For me, nobody is safe. We have sat down with military men that have said their chop, they here. Because as long as they are there is what they call an RSA, that they give allowances, they feed you extra pay, and then some of them who indulge into crazy things go into it. You see them rich in less than a month, they are chubby, they are wealthy, they are acquiring cars. I have once moved third from the other statements will bear with me. There's a route from Birnin to Do that will take you to Shinkafi. It's a no-go area now. It's practically 45 minutes to Shinkafi. But if you must go to Shinkafi now, from places like Talata Mafara, you have to come to Gusau, follow round through Kaurana Moda before you go to Shinkafi, which is also not safe. Maradun. On occasions, you will be hearing that Maradun is unsafe. That is the hometown of the past governor. In the bushes there, they mine. I have seen villagers have come, they have planted crops, and then they cannot go and harvest because bandits have said they should gather a sum of money if they want to harvest. And when they went to redress with the government said, do as they have said.
Okay. Wow. Well,
I've once been to the market, a market where bandits were caught. Do you know that at some point in time in Zamfara, there is a group called FARC, they are vigilante. If you belong to that group and you touch a bandit, they will follow you and jail you. We speak, some of them are still in jail. So this thing is beyond. The present governor has a brother who is my namesake, who was kidnapped in Zamfara. A ransom of 200 million was paid. I called the guy because I know him. He is my namesake. He worked with First Bank. He stayed in Bakura. So this thing is strictly political. He was kidnapped at home in Gusau. It means these people have gone beyond even the bushes. They know these places. They are in a way sent by political people. Zamfara, sorry to say, is one of the poorest states in the whole of Nigeria with the richest resources.
All right. Well, I want to thank you very much for calling in. A harrowing narration there, Dr. Mustapha Inuwa, from somebody who is familiar with the scenario over there, which further lends credence to the fact that there's a political will issue to this whole matter. And then he introduced the matter of mining. And people, of course, illegal mining, people are making money from there. And so this is what has enabled them to dig in. Somebody was saying, where do they get money to buy the sophisticated equipment that they do have? Well, you can imagine, apart from the instance of, 200 million that we heard about, how about the illegal mining? But for all of this, I'm sure, Dr. The question of political will, once the marching order is given, I just don't understand it. And many Nigerians are in my situation, thinking that this whole matter, they are not ready to be sincere with us yet. And that's why I said, I just hope that we have another chance in this new administration And what is your assessment of how well they can do? Because people say that, well, when you're out of government, you think in a certain way, but once you get into governance and government, then you find out that it's not as easy as all of that. What do you make of such?
You see, whether in government or out of government, the truth is one. And when I was in government, I believe the former National Security Advisor could be witness. Any meeting I attended, I told them my mind, my position, either, like I said, verbally or in writing. You see, it's a simple issue. Apart from giving the marching order, what I suggested, which I still want to advise the current leadership is, let this marching order be followed with action. Let him make the leadership to come with a work plan, a program of action. You understand? That he will be briefed, they will be briefing him either on weekly or fortnightly to ensure that what is given to him is what is being done. Yes. And also, like I said, there should be a very good synergy. They cannot do it alone. They cannot do it within one state alone. You see, there was a time we made that, we attempted doing that in the first tenure of the last administration, when the entire area was under one GOC in Kaduna. I remember my governor then, Masari, tried to organize all the governors of the Northwest, including Niger, to come together, contribute money, and ensure that the GOC take charge. You understand? Unfortunately, at that time, many states were not affected, so some of the governors, honestly, unfortunately, did not support the idea. They did not contribute. And to the extent that the military got frustrated and left. So the point now is, if the present administration, which I believe should, because it's one thing that they should ensure to do in order to make them do what people, part of the promises they do, that is to bring to an end to this menace. So let them organize. Unfortunately now, the Army and the Air Force, I believe they have very good understanding. It was not as it used to be before. Let them come and work out a program of action.
Okay.
That will be followed. And the governors also organize themselves, like I said, because there are certain positions that they should take. For instance, if the exercise is to commence, they should agree on common thing to do. For, like I said, they should ban sales of fuel in jerrycans, in rural...
they know what to do. They know what to do.
They know what to do very good.
If they wanted to be sincere, they know what to do. I beg your pardon. Let me bring in Yakub. Yakub in Dokpemu has also called in. Good morning to you, Mr. Yakub. Sorry for keeping you waiting.
Yeah, usually you keep me for long, but no problem, sir. Good morning, and then good morning to your guest.
Yes.
Usually, I think what former governor of Zamfara is asking for is unacceptable, totally unacceptable. We need to ask ourselves a question. Usually, does it mean the bandits hands ask for amnesty? Also, political gladiator that know these people. That know these people are trying to ask for amnesty for them. And then it is unfortunately that a caliber of former governor of Zamfara State that people know in society can come on television are asking for that, for amnesty for people that be killers. And then it go ahead and compare the bandits alongside with the militants. It is unacceptable. Okay, the question we need to ask is this: what is the cause these people are fighting for? No. He did not tell us what they really need. What are they fighting for? He did not.
No, bandits are bandits. Bandits are thieves. Yes, bandits are criminals. So what can a criminal be wanting than to dispossess honest people of theirs?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you are not asking for amnesty for a total criminal. So usually, see, what the Nigerian government needs to do is this, and then I pray Mr. President should never dance to that. He should never dance to giving amnesty to this guy because they are totally criminals, as I said earlier. So they need to attack them, as your guest says. They need to attack them because if you attack them from Katsina, these people will move to Kaduna. If you attack them from the Kaduna, they go to Zamfara. They always move around. So if the military attack them all angles, I think military should be able to do that. Then, if they know that the heat is too much for them, they will be the one now asking for forgiveness, and then they will not ask for amnesty. You should forgive us. But especially whereby you are not eating them, and then you are not the political gladiators are come out and telling us they should give the amnesty based on what? Security. Mr. President should never dance for that because the Nigerian citizen will not forgive him if you do so, because these people are totally killer. Okay, what do you want to tell the people that have already killed their father, killed their mother? They have a lot of children, have no father, has no mother. So what are you going to tell them? And then you are not giving them amnesty. No.
Thank you, Mr. Yakub. Appreciate your call, Mr. Yakub. Doctor, earlier, the caller who came in from, where was he? I think he was coming in from Kaduna, but, that he really knows Zamfara. He knows Zamfara very well. And he brought up the whole matter of mining. Is that another factor in this? They don't have a right to mine in that place. That's why it's called illegal mining. So is government unable to secure its own, assets on behalf of the people? That is something that caller brought in.
The annoying thing is the money is not even done by the bandits. You understand? It's done by, according to the report we have, including a report based on certain research, by even some foreigners, by highly placed people within the society. You see, this banditry, honestly, there are a group of people who are benefiting from it. So that is why a lot of things are happening. The politicians, the security agencies, the traditional rulers, and a lot of people within the community, they benefit from what is happening. So this mining, from history, we have never had a person kidnapped from either among these miners or killed or even mining disrupted. And some of the information we get, you understand?
Yes.
Yes, you were seen, according to the report, including the research I mentioned, which is a pamphlet written by one university lecturer, which he called a bandit. He detailed all this in there, that they exchange firearms with gold. You understand? You will be surprised if people could go and kill people in their houses, in their locations, and so on. But the mining area has never been touched.
Okay.
That is bandit.
One moment, please.
Right.
Let me bring in Okoroafo, who has called in from Arochukwu. Good morning to you, Mazi.
Good morning, Sayuri. Good morning. Well, Mazoka from Arochukwu. You see, British Prime Minister Boris have told us there is nothing like bandits. All these people, they are all terrorists. Let us address the issue that are terrorists. That you want to forgive, we forgive and forget about it. And then say, you are saying go like this. But they have to come and do restitution. And compared to the people who say that they are very sorry for what they have been doing. Because our government should find out from them, all this ammunition they were using, where did they get them? The one they have now, where are they? They are catastrophic. They are worried. That is what it should go, because the situation whereby you come back, forgive and forget, settle them, they still go back again, and be having some backyard business. It's not healthy. But the thing is that if you are going to forgive them, we forgive and forget. But what we are done, we now, as security agents, let them be as an agent of helping government to do what? To make sure that any place we keep them, and the DSS and the intelligence and military should also monitor them. Because now you ask yourself, all those who have rendered their homes, widowers, students have killed their brother. Like the let's talk about all this during the Jesus last time, 2021, 2028. What happened? Our vehicles were come. We don't transfer come, but we are forgiven and forget. And they kill you.
Yeah.
It's nature.
Yeah.
So they have to come back and do what we call restitution. That is number one. Number two, government will what? When you address this issue, we must monitor them. They have that forgiving heart that they have changed. Not a question about we are presenting them in front and they are doing vaccine advice, which is not healthy.
Okay.
So let's say forgive and forget.
All right, Mazi, I beg your pardon, Mazi. I've got to thank you very much for calling in. This whole question, our guest had said earlier, Dr. Inua, had said earlier that even if people were going to talk, it's going to be from a position of strength. Right now, I mean, most Nigerians are nonplussed. They can't understand what these people are controlling the narrative. Unfortunately, they're being represented by a former governor and a senator, and these people now want, according to, I don't know if one can call the governor their principal, I mean no disrespect, but you're speaking for them, and you're as bold as to go to the seat of government to actually speak for them along the lines of amnesty. Well, Dr.
Mr. one partner question.
Yes.
I want us to ask to find out whether the bandits truly interested even in the amnesty. Let me tell you, they are not. Just somebody told you a person was kidnapped and 200 million naira was paid as ransom. Okay, if they are to lay their arms and give amnesty, how do they continue to get this kind of money? What do they do? And there are, as I told you, battalions of youth who know nothing but taking arms to perpetuate this banditry. So even if you say, okay, now drop your arms, that is amnesty, what do? You could play them on salary? What do you do to them?
Indeed.
There are so many.
You highlighted that problem.
It's unlike, for instance, like you said, those in the Niger Delta, you send them to school. Yes, you provide what they wanted in their locality, but these people know nothing.
All right.
But this, you understand.
Let me bring in our last caller, Mr. Razak, calling in from Oshogbo. Good morning to you, sir. Well, I think I just lost Mr. Razak there. But, you know, the point you're making is very well taken. See, these people don't know anything else. They've evolved this way of livelihood.
It has become part of their culture now. It has become part of the culture.
Well, it's tough, but I suppose, quite frankly, government has no moral leeway on this question, would be my guess. That government certainly can't go that way. There are people who have come out, there are groups who have said that absolutely not, but it happens that there also are other groups that are saying that, you know, the former governor of Zamfara has spoken well and that he should, his submission should be considered. But then I imagine that would make Nigeria a laughingstock, and I imagine that's the last thing President Tinubu is going to allow for Nigeria to become a laughingstock. If suddenly people can intimidate all of society, intimidate governance, and call the shots the way they want to. Do you see any possible way for the government to even see it from the point of view of the former governor, Ahmed Yarima?
You see, like I say, it happened in Katsina, in Kaduna, and Zamfara. It didn't work. You understand? They ended up using the money being collected from the government to continue to purchase weapons. So they are not sincere. It cannot work, let me tell you. And even if we are to do that, we should not be the one asking. It should not be the government asking. They should be the one asking. And that could only be done after they are pushed to the wall, after they have realized that the government was serious, there is a serious onslaught on them. But the way things are, believe you me, even if they are telling you they are ready for this amnesty, is no contract, is not true. Because whatever they tell you, they mean the opposite. From the experience we have, there was nothing we did not do with these people.
Okay.
Even the action of giving them Quran to swear with, somebody who claimed to be a Muslim is given Quran to swear. The moment they leave government house, they go back to the bush. That's what happened. Only a few of them accepted this genuinely, and they are all killed by those who did not accept the arrangement. So honestly, like I said, the government should be serious on this. And the security agencies, not only the military, the police, and no, including the customs and immigration, they should all do what they are supposed to. Because these weapons, none is manufactured in the forest. They are all brought from outside, within Nigeria and outside Nigeria. And that's why the immigration, the custom should come. And the information, the security information, the intelligence, the DSS is there. They should we try to even trace, when we are in government, where some of these people were purchased from George. We even try to locate where the army uniform were being sold in Kaduna. We all provided this information to the security agencies, but what have they done?
Okay.
So I think what is my appeal to the current government is to make sure they look at this thing holistically. They also, like I said earlier, make sure not only they give marching order, but they monitor them on weekly or fortnightly basis.
Indeed. Well, I want to thank you very much, Dr. Mustapha Inuwa, former Secretary to the Government of Katsina State. Thank you very much for making time for us this morning. We're going to have to leave it there, and hopefully government or some of the agents will be watching this, so at least they know that there's another section of the society that is adding its voice to those who are saying absolutely no to the whole question of amnesty for bandits. Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Mustapha Inuwa. And that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.
Imagine this officer. I will clear our line.
Don't cost.
Bruh, come on there. Size no matter. The biggest dragon for Westeros, then small picking face down, climb down, Formula 1, fear catch me.